Chuck Knoll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. Who's next? JJ Speranza?
Chris Speranza?
Could be one of us. I don't know.
When I play my NFL Madden game on rookie, I have the perfect plays.
Listen, just play action fake and just run a post, and that's it.
Oh, it's that easy. Have the tight end cut across the middle. You can just throw it there every time.
It's easy. Welcome to Boys in the Berg, the podcast all about Pittsburgh. These boys, future head coaches. And obviously today we are talking about the big thing, the big Pittsburgh thing that has happened. And we haven't been able to talk about a big Pittsburgh thing in forever like this. Mike Tomlin has stepped down as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we are here to give our very unprofessional insight on it. So would you say that, JJ?
Say that. I would say we know enough about it to talk about it, but that's pretty much it. Just like every Yinzer.
Yeah. So everyone listen. And you can also listen to it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. Be sure to press that little button right there that says subscribe on there. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. No, I didn't say YouTube yet. YouTube and TikTok. So you can watch our shorts on there, get live updates about the next episodes. And yeah, just, smash that subscribe button.
Don't say that. Don't just don't smash it. Just gently with your finger go boop. That's all we need.
Yeah, the standard is the standard. So,
Dude, I have a game for you later in the podcast called Tomlinisms. Which one's your favorite?
Yeah. I have so many. So, okay. So let's start currently. What has happened? What has went down to where we are today? So our predictions from last week sucked, obviously.
Damn, they sucked.
So yeah, let's talk about that game real briefly because that is what happened. Me as the optimist, I'll just say this. The Steelers defense was on fire. Couldn't have done any better with all the mistakes that CJ Stroud did. 4 fumbles in the first half. That's unbelievable. And just the offense was not there. And the reason why I think the offense wasn't there is because the Texans defense just kept crowding Rodgers, not giving him enough time to do anything.
I think they saw what Myles Garrett did the week before and said, hey, that's a good plan. Let's just do that every time. And it worked perfectly.
Now, do you agree with that? Like, because Aaron Rodgers was kind of under pressure the whole time, there was just no chance for anything to happen?
There's that. There's the fact that they stopped our run game, like, immediately. And forced Aaron Rodgers to pass. He lost faith. It seems he lost faith in Metcalf after he made that big drop in the second quarter. The game was done by the end of the second quarter, I think. It was just, we were only down by 1 point, but they had already had the edge in every way. And we weren't making any adjustments at halftime. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I feel like they felt like they had a chance in the third quarter because it was 7-6 the entire game until the fourth quarter. Aaron Rodgers just said, let me just throw this downfield and see what happens. And then, one got, fumble or that big guy literally looked like he went up and was like, I dropped my hot pocket, and then just picked it up and just ran into the end zone. And then the Aaron Rodgers interception, that's when it was like, as soon as I saw Mason Rudolph in the lineup, I'm like, TV off. We're done.
Yeah, no, that was bad. I had one dart and I missed.
Yeah. So that's how I feel about it. It's just, I think it was just a combination of our offense not being good and the defense being immensely better.
Our defense did play good for the whole game, basically. It's a shame because CJ Stroud is a really good quarterback, and we shut him down immediately, and we couldn't do anything on special teams. We couldn't do anything on offense. I think it was a fitting end to a season that would just had more question marks than answers.
Yeah, and let me rephrase what I said. The Texans' defense was immensely better.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. My God, Will Anderson is a machine. I don't know how he's not like player of the year right now, like on for defense.
Now, do you remember on the last episode I said, as long as the Steelers don't play like a Miles Garrett, because who else has a Miles Garrett on their team? Turns out the Texans have a bunch of Miles Garretts on their team.
In particular, two on the edges. And I mean, Cook still did really good, but not good enough. Cook, our tackle on offense,
Okay, and so that game ends. I believe the final score was 30-6. Just
20 to
the
6.
no, I think it was 30.
I'm
Uh,
fact checking you.
Well, fact check me while I say this. It was pretty much like the sixth or seventh straight wild card playoff
You're
game.
right. I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah, it was pretty much the sixth or seventh straight wild card or first round playoff exit that ended in double digits or more. Um, and I think that first of all, the only reason why I know that is because Antonio Brown posted it on his social
Of
medias.
course he did. What a jokester.
And so I think that was the cause for Mike Tomlin to say, "Hey, I've tried enough. The fans keep saying fire Tomlin. I've been telling them for years, screw you, but I think it's time to step down." I don't know.
Is is that how you feel?
No, I've heard so many opinions,
Same
and
here.
I work in a place where there are older people that come in, and I'm not gonna lie, every time I see their mouth move and they talk about Tomlin, I'm like, "Shut up, you don't know what you're talking about." Like, they're just like, I feel like the Rooney's talked to him and said, "This is your choice," and it's just like, "No, that's not what happened probably," but no one knows what happened.
We'll never know. We'll never know unless they tell us, and they're probably not going to tell us, and that's okay because did you listen to the fan morning show or the fan afternoon show whenever they announced that that he stepped down?
I saw a lot of hands to heads, just like, "No way." Like, no one could believe it. It's like a death in the family. You know it's coming, but you're not ready for it when it happens. Like, and
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
exact
the difference being this is like I don't okay. Let's get into our feelings about this if you don't mind. How are you feeling about what's happening right now?
So, here's how I feel. I think it's weird. So, why do I think Mike Tomlin stepped down? I think the results in the postseason and the consistency that happened for 5 or 6 straight years, and I do have, this broken down of his eras,
Me
and
too.
we'll have to see if we have something in common. But I think, I called this era pretty much like the post Ben/veteran QB era. And just it was consistently 9-8 or 8-8, first round playoff exit. And I think after because 5 or 6 years is a long time, especially if you've been coaching for 19 years. You know what I mean? Not even most head coach tenures last longer than 5 or 6 years. And I feel like it was time for it to just end. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, before this happens one more year, I just need to step down. I need to let the Steelers organization be different, and I need a different view. So I think that's how I feel about it.
I respect that. I think that's a pretty good opinion. My thought is kind of the same, with the exception that like this is the first year we actually chanted "Fire Tomlin" at two games. One was during the Bills game. One was during this most recent game. I think that's the first time that he's like seen that happen. I mean, there's always been Tomlin haters out there, and he's always been able to like chew them off. And we'll never know how he's feeling. I had heard some rumors that his wife's business was getting affected by it. Like, people were, like, calling her and, like, giving her a hard time and saying, "Don't shop there," and stuff like that, so I don't know if that's true, I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but, um, man, I feel the same way, like, I'm gonna miss him, but I'm really excited for the opportunity to see what's new and what else we can do. Even if it's better or worse, it's something new.
I also think because it's been 19 years, it's gonna be weird. Like, I feel like I'm still gonna have to follow him and what he does in his post Steeler career. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have to like see what the next step is and just see what's going on.
Shout out to Lainey, one of our listeners. She's a devout Green Bay Packers fan and has every day this season, or every day, every Monday this season, reached out and said, "Did you watch Aaron Rodgers last night?" Like, you get used to seeing somebody on your team and you just kind of follow them afterwards, even if especially if they've been around that long.
And so here's also another question. Obviously, the problem was with the offense because they just couldn't get anything going. Yes, you could put blame on the quarterback, blame on this, blame on that, but I don't want to say it without like having a professional opinion. But do you just feel like the offensive coordinator, like, like he needs to go?
Uh, I feel the same way about him that I did feel about, was it Todd Haley that was our offensive coordinator that everyone got fired? I feel the same way. Like, he had a good plan. It won us 10 games, but it wasn't good enough in the end, and it was easy to stop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's I don't and you know what? Our offensive coordinator, actually, I have it written down because he's one of the prospects to be head coach, Arthur Smith. That shouldn't, 1, never happen. 2, I agree, he should be gone, and we should start fresh there too because we had a gunslinger slinging it 5 yards every single play.
Yeah, and we just need and it's just been I feel like the consistency throughout Tomlin's era has just been the offense. Sorry, I'm looking at my arrows right now. How about let's talk
Wait,
about that.
consistency's been the offense or defense?
Offense needed changed
Okay,
every
yeah.
single time. Defense has been perfect. Like defense is fine.
We could have had a better defense this year, but I agree with that for the most part.
Yeah. but for the most part, during Mike Tomlin's era, basically like the defense has been the one that just has been winning the games, in my opinion.
Yeah, they had the most turnovers, like, it's improbable. It makes no sense why we didn't win more games unless the offense stinks, and that's pretty much what happened, even though Aaron Rodgers carried that offense every week.
All right. So let's talk about the eras. And now I'm excited to see like what we have in comparison. So what is tell me all of yours first.
Do you want to start with the eras, or do you want me to go all the way back to when Mike Tomlin first started?
Are you talking way back, like when he was playing football?
Yeah, I mean, just like a quick history of, like, where he came from.
Yes. Give me the history breakdown.
Yes, and it'll lead up to the first era. I guess let's call this era point five.
Okay. Sounds good.
So he was born March 15th, 1972 in Hampton, Virginia, went to Newport News, Virginia High School. His father was actually a Baltimore Colt and played for the Montreal Alouettes for the Canadian Football League. He didn't wasn't no relationship with his father, like, he kinda separated from him and was more involved with his mom and stepfather, but he went to college at William and Mary in Virginia and played wide receiver and a second all-team Yankee conference selection in 1994. So he was a great wide receiver in college. I was shocked when I saw he was, like, switching over to defensive stuff, right?
Yeah, because that's what he did. He was like defensive something for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and like defensive coordinator for the Vikings.
Yeah, so, after college, after he graduated, he was a wide receiver coach in 1995 at the Virginia Military Institute under Bill Stewart, who was a coach in college for, like, from 1977 to 2010, so Bill Stewart is, like, amazing. He was a defensive back and special teams coach at the University of Memphis in 1996. Then a few months he spent at the University of Tennessee, which was at Martin, which is like a branch campus of University of Tennessee. He went to the Arkansas State University in 1997 to coach defensive backs, and that's where he found his niche, defensive backs. He was in 1999 was at the University of Cincinnati as a defensive backs coach, and then from Cincinnati he went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2001 to be a defensive backs coach under Tony Dungy and then John Gruden. So Tony Dungy is what brought him into the NFL.
And if I remember from, sorry, the videos I see on TikTok is like the AI things of like him like getting older and older and them showing like, his things. Did he win the Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Yeah, he was the defensive backs coach with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2003 whenever they beat the Oakland Raiders 48-21.
I remember that game because one of the last games was like a huge interception and return, I think.
Sure was. So that's kind of cool. He already had a Super Bowl under his belt as a defensive backs coach. He then in 2006 went to coach the Vikings. He was a defensive coordinator with the Vikings. And in 2007, he got the job January 27th, 2007 with the Steelers as the head coach. Enter era 1.
What'd you name that era?
Hiring and the Super Bowl XLIII era.
That's what I called it. I called it the Super Bowl era because it was basically the second season, wins the Super Bowl against the Arizona Cardinals in a thriller of a matchup. Obviously, everyone in Pittsburgh knows the immaculate interception and the immaculate. I don't know what they call that, immaculate something, but Santonio Holmes.
Santonio Holmes.
Yes, Santonio Holmes. and and then Super Bowl 45, where Aaron Rodgers that year prevented the Steelers from winning a Super Bowl. And then Aaron Rodgers prevented the Steelers from winning a Super Bowl in 2025.
16 years ago. Oh my God, I got that. That was good. That was good. Double deucing it. But yeah, that was 16 years ago when Aaron Rodgers beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl, what was it, XLV?
45.
45. Thank you.
Yes.
I was stupid and wrote Roman numerals, not numbers.
Don't worry. What's even the Roman numeral for 60?
I
It was,
couldn't. I can read them, and I can't tell you what they are.
I think it's XLV, maybe? No, it
No,
can't.
XLV is 45.
Yeah. What? Yeah, because you have it written down.
Yeah, because I just said that one. But like for that first Super Bowl, we had Dick LeBeau as our defensive coordinator. So Tomlin was head coach. He was not like he was over everything. And after Dick LeBeau left, that's whenever things started to get weird.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Dick LeBeau was basically like the I don't know, like the last of like the Bill Cowher coaching era, it feels like. And, he kind of reminds me of our special teams coordinator a little bit, doesn't he?
Danny Smith. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said Danny Smith may be in line to be the head coach. I was like, no,
No,
that's not happening.
no, we can't have Danny Smith as the head coach. Just chewing his bubble gum.
Danny frickin' Smith. Oh man, but yeah, that was a great era. Man, we still watch the DVDs of with the Steel, like the NFL films of the Steelers winning that Super Bowl.
So nice. Such a good time. But what is your next era past Super Bowl 45?
The Super Bowl loss and the Killer Bees.
The Killer Bees. I didn't even think of that being an era until like I went on TikTok and it's just like the Killer Bees, the Killer Bees. And for people who don't know who the Killer Bees are, they're not an insect. They are Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell. Uh, the three bees, which they called the Killer Bees.
And they were amazing. It's a crime that we didn't win a Super Bowl with those guys.
It was literally the only opportunity in Mike Tomlin's era that he would have came close to winning a second Super Bowl slash third Super Bowl for him, second Super Bowl with the Steelers.
And I have 2007 to 2009 as the first era, and then 2010 to 2016, because that was like a full 6 years of us just trying to like. That's Ben in his prime. Those 6 years.
Yeah. And then Ben was, first of all, Antonio Brown. What people claim is he got messed up by Burfict and got a concussion, and everyone's saying CTE, CTE. And Antonio Brown has definitely leaned into that.
Sure has.
Yeah, and he went a little bit crazy, and then just ended up being traded to what was it? The Oakland Raiders, and then Oakland Raiders ended up trading him to the Patriots. It was something
Yeah.
like something crazy happened.
He went to the Patriots and we got that connection with Tom Brady, and I can't remember if it was with the Patriots or with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was living with Tom Brady at that point in time. Like, Brady was just trying to, like, help this guy out, and his career ended when he took off his shirt and his jersey and ran off the field, and that was it.
Yep. And then Le'Veon Bell wanted more money, and if you watch football and see how running backs get destroyed, I would probably say now my opinion at the time was pay the man. That was my opinion at the time. But then he got traded to the Jets to show off what he could do, and then didn't really do much. So that's how the Killer Bees ended.
Remember that era? Everywhere in Pittsburgh you'd go, if people ask, like, "Do you think Le'Veon Bell, if they pay him and he comes back, would that be good?" And they went, "No, I'd rather have a crappy running back than him because he's not a nice guy."
That's where it started. That's where it started because Pittsburgh started getting some divas, and then because of that, Pittsburgh didn't like that. They're just like, oh, well, I'm going to cheer for the second best guy. And I sent you a text of how the Steelers solved that issue this year, which was make both running backs the stars so you don't choose one or the other.
And they did good. Both of them did really good.
They did great. Like this is probably this season was probably like the closest chance they had since the Killer Bees to get to the Super Bowl, but not meant to happen. But that's also like I, I don't know, picking like the nerd on your dodgeball team. Like it's like the lowest of that era since Ben that could have made the Super Bowl.
I mean, in 2005, I feel like that was a ragtag group. They were what, 9-8 or something like that, or 9-6, something like almost close to a losing record. They were the last seed to get in, and they won the Super Bowl. But they were like hard nosed, like, "Hey, we're not supposed to be here, but we're going to win the entire thing," and they did. That's what Pittsburghers are expecting, I think. Instead, they got the same thing with guys who were like, "We're not that good. We can't do this."
Yeah. After the Killer B era, you know, Ben Roethlisberger plays his last game, and I kind of go right to what I call the post Ben era.
Yep, 2017 to 2021.
Yeah. Did he retire? When did he, 2017 he retired?
No, I think he played until COVID and then he retired. Or did he retire in 19?
I think it was in 19 because it was in front of a crowd. I know that.
That makes sense. And that was, yeah, you know what? That makes sense because then we got Kenny Pickett, and Kenny Pickett was there for 2 years as our starting quarterback.
Well, Mitch Trubisky, and then we had Kenny Pickett, Duck Hodges, uh, Mason Rudolph. It's just plugging and trying and plugging and trying. Justin Fields, uh, Russell Wilson, and then Aaron Rodgers this time. And I think this is where I call like the veteran QB era, where it's like 3 years of trying and then being like, yeah, this isn't working. And then 3 more years of trying the veteran QBs. And I think that's when it was like, it's done. It's over.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers is sticking around much longer at all.
Yeah. But Aaron Rodgers was having fun. No, I'm kidding. But
I mean, he was at one point in time, but like whenever he went to walk off the field after that game on Sunday or Monday and people were screaming, "Retire, you old fart." Like, I'm sure he was like, "Dog, I don't want to do this anymore."
I hate fans that do that. It's just like, yeah, you're
Fairweather.
angry. They're fair weather. Yeah. You're angry that that happened, but you're going to scream at another human being to retire. What if I like walked into their job and I'm just like, you kind of suck at your job. You should retire.
And they're like, "I'm doing heart surgery." So just to kind of give you some hindsight with us down here in North Carolina, the Panthers lost their game to the Rams, but they made it a hell of a game. And it was the first time in 10 years that the Carolina Panthers had gone to the playoffs. Um, Cam, oh my gosh, the old quarterback that took them to
Cam
the
Newton.
Thank you. He was there for the first time in 10 years, banging on the drum, pounding, keep pounding. That was their thing. But they lost. And they got a standing ovation and a thank you for getting them in a playoff game, you know? That's put that in perspective with Steeler fans. They were cheered for losing because of the opportunity down here.
And also, the Jaguars. Did you hear what that reporter said to the Jaguars head coach? So the head coach, he's doing a press conference after they lost, and the news person with this crazy southern accent, she goes, "I just want to tell you, Coach, that you just done such a great job this season. Don't put your head down. You gotta put your head up high because you know Duval, like you did so good. You young man, you're doing so great up here, young man."
Oh my Duval.
Oh, and that was just a way to, he was fooling us. He was like, "Oh, this silly guy," and it's just like, nope, he knows what he's doing.
I read something he lost like 30 pounds over this year playing for that team because like he was just so into it and like working out with the guys and everything. Like it was cool to see them make it to the playoffs. That was fun.
Yeah, the Jaguars, they definitely like deserve to be in the playoffs. They're really good. I'm gonna put a. I realize we have not said who the Jaguars head coach is because we don't know his name. So let me find that for you.
Cohen, right?
Liam Cohen.
That's right, Liam Cohen.
Yeah. So
I've listened to a lot of sports radio recently.
good for Liam Cohen. Can I tell you the other thing that kind of made me angry about the Steelers losing? It messed up my bracket.
Oh, you lost on money again?
No, no, there was no money on it, but I made a bracket at work, and I'm like shit talking people. I'm just like, yeah, 3 for 3, 4 for 4, 5 for 5, and I'm just like, Steelers aren't gonna lose. I could read a book, like, you know. And then next thing you know, just they blew it. They blew it for me more than anything.
You blew it.
So it just was not a great game.
Oh
So
wait, that
back.
South. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna quote South Park. You had it all and you blew it. That sucks, man. I'm sorry that you. I mean, you came in second place for fantasy football, and your bracket just got busted. You're just having a rough couple weeks here.
I even made the good picks, you know what I mean? I picked Chicago to beat the Packers, and when the Packers were crushing the Bears, I was like, "They're gonna come back." And then I picked the Niners to beat the Eagles because I just felt something about the 49ers, and they beat the Eagles. It was perfect. It was perfect right down to the last minute detail, and then it was ruined.
That sucks. As a Steelers fan, it sucks to watch that and like just know that there wasn't any coming back from that. They couldn't even score a touchdown. Like, guys, come on. That's crazy.
It was crazy, but I wanna hear some Tomlinisms. We're gonna play a game.
Before I do that, I did want to mention the only three coaches in Tomlin's tree of coaches. You know how each like really, a coach who's been around for a long time has like a tree of people, like the Ed Reed family and everything.
Okay.
Not Ed Reed, like you know what I mean, like big coaches who've been around for a while. So the three coaches under his umbrella are Bruce Arians, who was the coach for the Cardinals and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Todd Haley, who he was the head coach for the Tampa Bay Bandits and the Memphis Showboats, and Scotty Montgomery, who was a head coach at East Carolina. That's his whole umbrella. That's the head coaches that have been under him and are head coaches were head coaches at one point in time. It's kind of weird.
That's kinda weird. Did you say Bruce Arians was one of them?
Yeah, Bruce Arians.
Man, I wonder what he's doing now. That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Well, Bruce Arians is on the list of people that may get an interview.
Alright. I thought he was our offensive coordinator for a while,
He was. He was indeed.
and so was Todd Haley.
Yes, he was.
How are these connections happening?
That's it. Wait, who's the head coach for the Chiefs?
Andy Reid.
Thank you. Andy Reid has how many coaches that are head coaches now that worked under him?
Oh, I know what you're saying now. I got the tree thing messed up. I was like, okay, you're saying the people that Mike Tomlin had as the coordinators get jobs as head coaches. That's what you mean, right?
Yes.
I didn't know you meant that. I got it together now.
Actually, that works because I kind of jumped into that, not even explaining it. So, like, I appreciate that breakdown. All right. Now that that's over with, Tomlinisms?
Actually, I have one more thing before we
Yeah,
do
yeah,
talk.
yeah, yeah.
Who's next?
I have a list. Do you know who you want next?
I feel like either I don't know names, but I'm going to throw them at you. So either the Notre Dame head coach, I feel like
Marcus Freeman.
I like his vibe. Uh,
Shout out Blaze. We're talking about Notre Dame.
yeah, and Brian Flores.
Ooh, the Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator, who was our coordinator for a hot minute.
Yeah, and I think one that I know what I wanted. So one that's out of left field, I think, is the old Dolphins head coach.
Dolphins head coach.
Yeah, he was the head coach for the Dolphins this year, and he got fired.
What? He got fired?
Yeah, he got fired. Did you not know this?
No, I thought he was sticking around another year. What? The
No, he
young
got
guy, right?
yeah. Shoot, old Dolphins head coach. Well,
Uh,
when we're
Mc-
on the spot, McDaniel's. No,
oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. I did not know he got fired. Dolphins head coach fired? Question mark.
Ugh. See, someone called us out on TikTok. It was just like, how do you not know who Connor Hayward is? I'm just like, listen, when you're on the spot doing a podcast, you forget a lot. Mike McDaniel's. That's
Mike
his name.
McDaniel. I thought it was a McDaniel something. I did not
Yeah.
know he got fired. Oh no.
Yeah, he's done. And so Mike
I don't think
McDaniel.
that man should come near the Pittsburgh Steelers. That guy's got some bad juju going on.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel fired by the Dolphins. Mike McDaniel. Okay, we need to wrap up this segment. So Mike McDaniel or I had it in my head. Signetti. He was the head coach for the Cleveland Browns and probably should have never got fired. I'll gladly take him.
You are man, I'm impressed with those names. Okay, because I agree with you on Freeman. There's two names that you may not know too much of, just because like they're kind of newer names. Clint Kubiak, who's the Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator. He is 38 and offensive minded. I think that'd be kind of cool to have an offensive coordinator become head coach, offensive minded head coach.
We need one. We need an offensive coach bad.
And he's the only offensive coach. All the rest are defensive. Chris Shula for the LA Rams defensive coach. Like, he's 39. He'd be a good fit because we've only hired coaches. I think Mike Tomlin's like the 16th coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers since 1933. And they were all hired, all 16 of them, in their 30s. So, like, all these options, like Arthur Smith is 43, Vance Joseph with the Broncos is 53, Mike McCarthy is 62, Chris Shula with the LA Rams is 39, Clint Kubiak with the Seattle Seahawks is 38, and Marcus Freeman with Notre Dame is 39.
I
I think
think
those are the top three.
the closest is going to be Marcus Freeman. I still like the old Browns head coach. Is it Signetti? I hate being on the spot.
Ignetti is the coach for Indiana.
I want him too. I want him too. He's the coach for IUP. I want him too.
Yes. He's the one that always looks like he's about to murder somebody.
Yes, old Cleveland. I hate being on the spot.
Stefanik?
Stefanik, yes.
You want Stefanik. Okay, hold on. All right. Could you imagine that John Harbaugh goes to the Browns, Tomlin goes to the Ravens, and Stefanik comes to us?
But don't worry, AI took over this. I said, who's the old Cleveland Browns head coach? They said, Paul Brown. Perfect. Thank you, AI.
AI. Shut up, AI. John Harbaugh, I guess, is interviewing with the Giants.
Kevin Stefanski. Yay, we got it. We worked through this.
Kevin Stefanski, who is like, do you see this guy that y'all want to start as quarterback? Ain't ever gonna happen.
Well, we can't do anything about John Harbaugh anymore because he's going to sign with the New York Giants.
Maybe.
It sounds like it's a pretty good deal, a pretty done deal.
It's January 15th. I don't think these guys are making any choices until at least next week. And they have, I mean, these are two coaches that have been coaching for 18 and 19 years. I think it's going to be a little bit before they make a decision.
Yeah, but yeah,
I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked if Harbaugh takes that job right away. That's all I'm saying.
how about Harbaugh was with his team for like 18 years, and Tomlin was his team with 19 years, and they just both pieced out in one season. Was this a plant? Was this a plant? Was this supposed to happen?
Maybe that last game did something to them.
Maybe. Just Tomlin did his last kiss goodbye.
Oh man. Oh shoot, I was going to say something. I forgot. Yeah, no, I think it's weird. It's weird to think that this has been our entire, like, I'm 35, you're 33.
Yep. Hmm.
19 years of that is a huge chunk. I remember a little bit of Cower, but not that much. You know, like this is huge. This is a huge life change as far as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan is.
Yeah, it is. And I'm excited to see Signetti leave Indiana and then just come to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm excited to see Darth Vader leave Star Wars, or oh my god,
They
I
go to
can't
Lord
think
of the Rings.
go to Lord of the Rings. Yeah, Signetti with the stinking Browns.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Speaking of silly quotes, you ready to rank some sayings?
Yes, I'm ready this time because I wrote down a couple also. Let me get my little list up to date. But are we just rattling them off or are we just gonna what are we gonna do?
Let's rank them. How many do you have?
Ah, I don't know. I'm just gonna start reading them and let's pick our favorites.
Sure. I think there's not that many, so I think we're gonna have to take the same list here.
Not that many. Just wait till I read mine.
Oh, well, let's go. You go first.
All right. Obviously, I think number one on both of ours and in everyone's heart, standard is the standard.
Ugh, it was such a great saying in 2010.
Yeah. But you know what? It's dead. Okay, you're right.
All I gotta say about that. Standard is diarrhea.
All right, now you name one.
Don't blink. If you blink, wait. Don't blink. If you're a blinker, cut your eyelids off.
I got that one. That was my very next one.
Nice, nice.
All right. And then the other one, of course, someone called me out for saying it the wrong way. So here we go. If my aunt had male parts, she'd be my uncle. There you go, TikTok. I did it correct.
Wait, how'd you say it wrong?
I said if my aunt had private parts.
She's like a Barbie doll. Smooth under there. It's a fine line between drinking wine and squashing grapes.
Oh, I didn't write that one down, but I definitely heard that one in my research.
That's
All
like,
right.
were you trying to be biblical there, dude?
All right. Next one I have, I don't know what question he was asked, but it really pissed him off. He said, never say never, but never. And he like looked around at the people. I guess it was talking about like him going to a college team. I don't know what it was, but he was very straightforward by saying that.
That sounds like something he would say. How about, I can't give you all the ingredients to the hot dog. You might not like it.
That's a good one. I didn't write that one down. This is good. You're like picking the ones I didn't write down, and I don't know if I'm saying the ones you didn't write down, but pretty good.
Thank you.
I'm gonna say I'm going out of order of mine now. A fan video of a fan going, "Hey man, best of luck out there," and him going, "I'm fucking working."
Remember he got so much crap for that? People were like, there are children watching this. It's like, bro, don't bother the man.
I thought it was hilarious. I don't think anyone in Pittsburgh shit on him for that. I think they were all just like, "That's hilarious."
They did, unfortunately, but it was hilarious for us people who were like, "Okay, relax, guys." That's all the quotes I have. So whatever ones you got left, let's hear them.
Squirreling those nuts.
I forgot about that one.
That's another one. Uh, what's his name? Who's the player you hate? Broderick Jones. Broderick Jones going over to Mike Tomlin saying, "Are you mic'd up?" And Tomlin going, "Shut up."
Well, these aren't really Tomlinisms. These are just funny things that he's said over the years.
All right. The other one, him just walking away when he was asked about 1 year left on his contract, and he said, "Peace," and just left the room completely. Yeah. Oh, another one was something I wanted to talk about, the culture he developed, which he developed a good culture for the Steelers. So, yeah. Um, and then finally, someone interviewing him saying, "You got to play 13 straight weeks. How do you feel?" And him saying, "We do not care."
I need to disagree with you on the culture thing because it always seems like it's good in the beginning, and then toward the end, it's like the inmates are running the asylum every single year for the past 10 years. So I don't know what culture he had tried to cultivate, but man, it fell apart quick.
Did you see the video? It was like an AI video of called like Crash Out Academy. And it showed all the former Steelers wide receivers, and they'd be like, "Then I took Crash Out Academy." It was like first like DK Metcalf, then Antonio Brown, then Chase Claypool, Juju Smith Schuster.
Eh, Come on, man. If there's if it's walking like a duck and quacking like a duck, it may be a damn duck.
That what a Tomlin. Except Tomlinism, he would have done this. He was like, if it walks like a duck and it if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's definitely gonna taste like duck when it's cooked. Like, you know what I mean? He'd say
It's
something
definitely going to have private parts.
like oh shit. But yeah, just my two favorite ones is like him telling the person he's working, and then the other one of him just like telling Broderick Jones to shut up.
He'll be missed because he was a figure. He was just someone that was there, and you knew it. You knew every week. You knew every week whenever he'd come out for his press conferences. Like all the people in the media knew him. He was known around the country as the Steelers head coach, and now whoever gets this job is gonna be set for quite some time. But that leads me to my question for you, Chris. Who's
It's
sticking around?
Signetti. Signetti is gonna
It's not Sig. Who's stick? Who's sticking around?
definitely not Aaron Rodgers. And you know what? Even something else to think about. Cam Hayward might not stick around.
Pat Fryermuth,
Pat Fryermuth.
T.J. Watt.
Yeah, TJ Watt, that'd be a big one.
There are 22 guys that are free agents this year on our 52-man roster.
Uh
Anything can happen.
Come again. I
There are
I thought we
22, man.
I thought we paid TJ Watt the money.
Yeah, we did. Oh, yeah, like, there are guys like TJ Watt that's I think he's set, and Cam Hayward is set. If they wanna stick around, it's a different story, but, like, we spent all this money on one-year deals for all these guys, and guess what? It's the end of the year. There's 22 of them going, "Okay, you gonna pay us again, or are we leaving?" And we don't even have a head coach to try and figure that out.
Well, let me say this. Get ready for a tough couple of years coming up.
And that's okay. I was just talking to Katie about this. If we don't do good this upcoming year, the worst thing that happens is we get a better draft pick. Maybe even get Archie Manning.
Yep. I got called out for this. It's Arch Manning.
Whatever. You Longhorn fans are weird.
What's your name? Arch.
Stop it.
Put your horns down.
Put your horns down.
Now, what was your favorite quote? I'm sorry, I said what mine was.
Mine was if my aunt had male parts, private parts, she'd be my uncle.
It's male parts. Apparently, I messed it up.
No, that's I mean, it's just so out of left field. It doesn't make any sense. It encapsulates oh my god, I can't even say the word. It pretty much is the definition of, like, every time Tom would walk up to the podium, you just never know what he was gonna say, and when he said that, it was like, "Yeah, that makes sense."
Yeah. But much like Tomlin's time was to go and leave the Pittsburgh Steelers, it looks like it is our time to go as well. So, any final closing statements for Mike Tomlin?
We're less than 100 days away for the draft. The draft is in Pittsburgh this year. I cannot wait to cover it. It's gonna be so much fun to talk about. I hope you're able to make it down there for it. If not, we'll just watch it on TV and talk about it.
I'm not going down there. Are you kidding me? It's nuts.
That's a good point. Parking's hard for pirate games. I can't imagine for the freaking draft.
I'll go to Mount Washington and watch it up there. You know what I mean? Just like stay away from the chaos.
That's not a bad idea. Or even park at the you know, outsiders don't know you can take a boat over to North Shore, so you can do that too.
Yeah. But if Mike Tomlin is listening, which I doubt it, uh, just want to say you have been a part, and I'll speak for you also, JJ. You have been a part of our childhood and adult life, and just seeing the Pittsburgh Steelers grow. And just as you were growing gray hairs, Mike, we were also growing gray hairs along with you. So thank you for coaching the Pittsburgh Steelers for 19 years, leading us to 2 Super Bowls and winning one of them because it was the greatest Super Bowl of all time. So, JJ, go ahead.
I'm happy that 16 years ago, you were an amazing coach. I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I am really it's sad to see him go because of all the great I had like a existential crisis whenever I was driving to work and I heard the news or driving home and I was like, "Yeah, we're getting a new guy. We're getting a new guy. We're gonna get" like just it all hit, you know? Like this is for two people, you and I that are obsessed, not obsessed, but like we just football is a part of our lives. We do fantasy football. We watched every game growing up. It's like, man, this is gonna be something we haven't experienced since we didn't understand what was happening when Cowher retired. I'm sorry, when Cowher stepped down, because Cowher didn't retire.
Whatever.
Nah, man, I'm excited though. I'm excited to see what happens next. I'm excited to talk about it in the future with you.
Same. All right. Well, that is the end of this episode. This took a uh this was definitely a topic that was put ahead of our original topic, which we will talk about next week. Uh,
Tune in for Kings, baby.
Things I was gonna do like a little teaser, but screw it. Let's just say it.
I'm sorry.
If
I'm
you
sorry.
no, if you listened all the way to the end, you get to hear what the next episode is. It is King's Family Restaurant. Rest in peace in Greensburg. So that's what we're going to talk about next. The death of Kings, the end of Mike Tomlin's career. Everything we know is dying.
Welcome to it, folks. You're now a part of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've been Chris.
I've been JJ.
We'll see yins real soon.